Unwrapping the Secrets of Mummies. Welcome to a fascinating journey through the eerie yet captivating world of mummies, time capsules that connect us to the lives, beliefs, and mysteries of ancient civilizations. From the meticulously preserved pharaohs of Egypt to the naturally frozen remains of Ötzi the Iceman, mummies are more than just relics of the past. They hold secrets waiting to be uncovered through science, technology, and storytelling. In today's video, we'll explore the origins of mummification, the science behind their preservation, stories of famous mummies, and the ethical questions surrounding their display. So buckle up as we dive into this enthralling chapter of human history. Let's begin with a question: where and why did mummification start? Most of us immediately think of ancient Egypt, but did you know mummification practices date back even further? The oldest known mummies belong to the Chinchorro people of Peru and Chile, preserved over 7,000 years ago, 2,000 years before Egypt perfected its embalming methods. The Chinchorro used techniques like skin removal, desiccation, and even repainting the bodies, showcasing extraordinary skill and reverence for the departed. In ancient Egypt, mummification evolved into an elaborate art form, deeply tied to their religious systems. The Egyptians believed in an eternal journey after death, and a well-preserved body was essential to navigate the afterlife. Mummies became central to their culture with techniques involving evisceration, drying, and wrapping in linen bandages, richly adorned with amulets and charms. But Egypt wasn't alone. Natural mummification happened in other corners of the world. The hot desert sands of Libya, the icy peaks of the Andes, and the acidic bogs of Europe all gifted us preserved remains. These geographically diverse practices highlight just how universal yet distinct mummification traditions can be. One of the first revelations about mummies is their preservation. How did they survive the ravages of time? The answer lies in science. Mummies are either created intentionally, through artificial means like embalming, or naturally by environmental conditions that prevent decay. In hot climates, like the deserts of Egypt, dehydration was key. Bodies rapidly dried out, leaving no moisture for bacteria or fungi to thrive. In cold environments, such as the Alps where Ötzi the Iceman was discovered, freezing temperatures preserved tissues, even down to hair and stomach contents. Acidic, oxygen-starved environments, like northern European bogs, almost pickled bodies into a leathery but intact state. The Egyptians refined mummification with sophisticated techniques, embalming the body with resins and oils, removing the organs, and even using natron, a type of salt, to dehydrate the corpse. Each culture had its methods, but all mummies served the same purpose, ensuring immortality or remembrance. While the methods of mummification were ingenious for their time, the modern age has opened entirely new ways of analyzing these ancient relics. Think about it. How do you uncover secrets without disturbing the mummies themselves? That's where tools like CT scans and DNA analysis come in. CT scans allow scientists to peer inside a mummy without unwrapping it. These scans reveal everything from hidden injuries to diseases the individual might have suffered. Remember King Tut? For decades, his death was a mystery. DNA analysis digs even deeper, literally. By extracting small samples of tissue or bone, experts can reconstruct an individual's ancestry, diet, and even the pathogens they carried. For example, studies on Peruvian mummies unveiled evidence of tuberculosis, providing historical insights into the spread of disease. Another fascinating tool is isotope analysis, which helps reconstruct ancient migration patterns. By studying the chemical composition of Ötzi the Iceman's teeth and bones, researchers confirmed that he lived in a specific alpine region for most of his life, 5,000 years ago. Mummies come alive, metaphorically of course, when we dive into their personal stories. These preserved individuals aren't just objects. They're remnants of real people with fascinating lives. Take Tutankhamun, the boy pharaoh of Egypt. Discovered in 1922, his tomb became one of archaeology's greatest treasures. Though his reign was short-lived, King Tut's mummy revealed unprecedented details about the health and kinship of Egyptian royalty, from clubfoot deformities to familial intermarriages. Then there's Ötzi the Iceman, whose discovery in 1991 stunned the world. Frozen in ice for over 5,000 years, Ötzi carried tools, clothing, and even a meal in his stomach, giving us a glimpse into the daily life of Europe's Copper Age. What really shocked researchers was the arrow lodged in Ötzi's shoulder, suggesting he fell victim to a violent attack. But Ötzi isn't the only natural wonder. Europe's peat bogs have revealed chillingly preserved remains, known as bog bodies. These bodies, dating back to the Iron Age, tell haunting tales of human sacrifice, marked by strangulation, stabbing, or blunt force trauma, all for ritualistic purposes. Mummies are not just scientific curiosities, they're wrapped in layers of myth and mystery that fuel our intrigue. Who hasn't heard of the supposed curse of King Tut's tomb? Though largely debunked, the deaths of multiple people involved in its discovery gave rise to theories of supernatural vengeance. Hollywood has only added to the mystique, portraying mummies as lumbering creatures brought back to life. These fictional tropes carry little resemblance to reality, but they've ensured mummies a permanent place in pop culture. Mysteries still abound. There are mummies we know little about, locked in eternal silence, their identities forgotten. Who were they? What lives did they lead? Each mummy is like a puzzle with missing pieces, sparking endless curiosity. For all their intrigue, mummies also raise important questions about morality and ethics. Should the remains of the dead be displayed in museums for public viewing, or should they be left to rest? This debate has grown louder in recent years, especially in communities where mummies are tied to cultural heritage. Repatriation is a contentious issue. Many believe artifacts, including mummies, should be returned to their countries of origin for proper burial or ceremonial care. Others argue that their display serves an educational purpose, helping millions learn about history and foster respect for ancient cultures. There's also the shadow of colonization to consider. Many mummies were transported to European museums under dubious circumstances during colonial eras. Today, archaeologists and museum professionals strive to balance the thirst for knowledge with the need for cultural sensitivity. While Egyptian mummies steal the spotlight, they're only one chapter in a much larger story. Mummification practices vary widely across the globe, reflecting unique environments and cultural beliefs. Let's revisit the Chinchorro people of Peru, who mummified their dead thousands of years before Egyptians turned it into an art. They meticulously deconstructed and reassembled bodies, even crafting replacements for fragile parts. In colder climates like Siberia or the Andes, ice mummies occur naturally. The famous Inca Ice Maiden, for example, was discovered frozen at the summit of a volcano in Peru, likely sacrificed as part of a religious ritual. And then there are Europe's bog bodies, preserved by the tannins of acidic peat bogs. These mummies are among the eeriest, their faces often twisted in the agony of death. Unlike Egyptian mummification, bog bodies were rarely intentional. They were natural consequences of the swampy environments. Each of these mummification practices offers a window into the beliefs, hopes, and fears of the cultures that created them. Beyond their physical preservation, mummies are treasures of cultural significance. They tell us about the ancient human obsession with death, the afterlife, and immortality. For the Egyptians, mummies were part of a grand celestial plan, meant to ensure safe passage into the afterworld. Every element, the positioning of limbs, the selection of amulets, even the choice of embalming recipes, carried symbolic meaning. In Peru, the Chinchorro saw mummification as a way to maintain a physical connection to their ancestors. Some would even display the mummies in their villages, regularly repainting and honoring them. Across all cultures, mummies emphasize a universal truth: humanity's need to find meaning in death and to leave something behind for the living. These preserved remains are not just physical bodies, they're storytelling vessels that reveal the invisible threads of history. So, why do mummies continue to captivate us? Perhaps it's because they challenge the fragility of life, standing the test of time when everything else fades away. Through science, we can uncover long-lost secrets about their lives. Through storytelling, we reignite connections with a world unimaginably distant yet surprisingly relatable. As we've seen through this journey, mummies are more than just preserved bodies. They're ambassadors of the past, inviting us to explore ancient beliefs, recent scientific breakthroughs, and complex ethical questions. They remind us that history isn't just written in books, but etched into human remains. Thank you for joining us on this incredible exploration of mummies. What fascinated you most about their stories and secrets? Let us know in the comments and stay curious, because history still has so much to reveal.